What is up, Rally Towel fam? Good evening. Welcome to the show. We've got a great one for you this evening. With me tonight, Corey, Aaron. How we doing, gentlemen?
Feeling good. You guys had a great show last night, so I'm excited to get up in here with you.
Heck yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. That was
We
that
popped
was
our cherry.
yeah, that was
our
me and
cherry
Bobby's
together.
first time.
Oh, no shit, it
flying the
was,
plane.
huh?
Yeah.
All right. Dope.
I don't think we crashed the plane either, so I'm feeling pretty good. And as a pilot, there's only two outcomes, and that was the good one.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. You can either crash the plane or not, and you didn't. That's fantastic. I mean, we're still here, right? They didn't remove us from any of our platforms.
No.
I have an update. Can you guess what it is?
You got a new setup.
Dude, look at the digs now, man.
It
So
looks
where are you at in your home currently?
I am in my basement currently.
Ooh.
I've created. I almost said cremated there. I have created a basement
going on in that
studio. Yeah. Shoo. You ever seen Bates Motel? Yeah. No, it's nice, man. I got my BG flag repping here. I got a lot of room. Still got the old mini fridge holding it down here. Will sharing the video.
Let's go,
We
Will.
appreciate you, Will. Thank you, sir. Hope you're having a good night. But yeah, man, I love it. I got some of those like foam pads too to kind of make it a little bit
looking things.
Yes, I haven't like created walls yet though, but I will
right.
kind of sound dampen the sound a little bit more. But yeah, man, feeling good.
That's
Looking
awesome,
great.
man.
Yeah, you got me a little jealous right now.
That's my number one goal in life.
See, this is I have a music room at home, and I won't give you the full tour, but you can obviously see the guitar behind me here, and there's the electric kit over here.
Yeah.
And now it's just the podcast studio. So I look super hipster, but this is the only place I can do it.
Oh, Aaron slays.
He's like, oh dude, what a cool guitar player guy. Oh, is that drums too? Wow.
Yeah,
how unique.
no big deal. It's no big deal.
Is that moonshine
Is
or
that
water?
Is that Dave Grohl down there?
What's going on? No, we got a fucking sweet show though. We got a really cool guest coming on here in just a little
Absolutely.
bit. Blaec Walker, Mica Knight. It is the CDD Football Academy. They're going to be coming on telling us all about the stuff that they offer. I believe Southwest Ohio. I believe they're still in the Dayton market is where Blake's currently at. Dayton, Cincinnati, Madison, I think is where they do a lot of their academy. They'll tell us all about it, I'm sure. Football academy, nutrition stuff. We're going to get into it. Blaec played some college football as well. So we're excited to talk with them. That was at the Bowling Green State University. Talons up, baby. Talons.
I'm gonna need the Falcon noise. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. There we go. Just like that.
Good.
And just like that.
Oh man.
But I mean, what have we met? What's going on in the world of sports right now, though? While we wait on Blaec to be joining us,
gosh darn thing, Corey.
Are we just in the fucking dog days, dude?
We are in the absolute dog days. Me and Bobby were talking about this last night, man. It is so
sad.
You got the actual MLB All-Star game right after the MLB All-Star game is actually the desert of sports, and we're approaching the desert at this point, and you can feel it. And it's a little bit rough, but then as you get away from that, you start to see an oasis around the horizon.
And what's that?
Well, even just NFL training camp getting going kind of gets my juices flowing.
So pumped.
Yeah. Like I'll watch a preseason game.
Dude,
I don't even have a rooting interest in.
Honestly, I think it's August 3rd is when the Hall of Fame game is on, and it's Vegas, Jacksonville, the worst fucking matchup I could ever ask for, but I'm pumped. Yeah. I'm ready to go. I'm just injected in my fucking veins, dude. I am absolutely ready.
Going, and then I believe college football starts the week before the pros start usually. And I think there's, a couple meaningless games that start even a little bit before then, but your marquee matchups.
What's this? Hold on. I'm getting word right now. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm bringing in right now Mr. Blaec Walker, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Blaec. Give it up for Blaec. Welcome to the pod, man. Welcome to the pod. Blaec Walker, ladies and gentlemen, former left tackle from the Bowling Green State University. Todd, liking the stream. Appreciate you, Todd. So, Blaec, as you know, BG alum. Aaron, BG alum. We have been recorded on TV broadcasts when we played Idaho of getting a explicit potatoes, FUCK potatoes chant going when we played Idaho because Idaho potatoes. We are avid Falcon fans, so it's an honor to have you on, sir. We're here to talk about the CDD Academy, and we're going to talk about that. But I gotta hear a little bit of your backstory, a little bit of your background. Where'd you play a high school ball? Why'd you decide Bowling Green? All of that.
Well, you guys hear me good?
Oh yeah.
Loud and clear.
Perfect. I played high school ball in Middletown. Started in Dayton, kind of played around Trotwood, and then went to Middletown, found a spot there, and then reason I chose Bowling Green was my junior year. They sent me my first offer. They were the first school to come out and say, "Hey, we want you to play." And then my senior year, if you haven't been recruited, there's a board and they rank you on the board where they want you. And in a room full of 47 people that they wanted that year or that they were trying to get, my name was at the top of the list, and that made an impression on me. So I definitely came
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I felt
that's called
deeply-
loyalty right there. That's what
Right.
that is coming from Blaec
Oh,
Walker.
yeah.
That's loyalty.
They sent me my first offer letter and had me up number one the whole time, and had to go with them.
All right, so here's the thing that matters. How many times did you beat Toledo?
Two.
All right.
Two.
Even split.
Take it.
Hey, we'll take 500, baby. We'll take 500. We love it. We love it. So I got to ask before we like I said, we are going to get in talking about the academy here shortly, but I got to ask, at Bowling Green, if there's a story or a memory, a game, a play, something, what was the most memorable time there playing college football?
Oh man, I can give the best and the worst. I'll never forget them both.
Okay.
The best is my first game that I ever played in. I didn't start. Brady Minturn was the left tackle. I was 19 years old, fresh out of high school. We were playing. Who were we playing? Ball State, and their left end or their right defensive end was a 31-year-old who
No
had
way,
gone to the
dude.
Army. Yep, he had gone to the Army first and still had 5 years of eligibility.
Bro.
Wow.
So
31?
my first game, my first
And
game
you're
ever.
19.
He's got like
Oh,
3
man.
kids and shit.
He had 2. Talked to him after the game. He had 2 kids. But I tell you, when I say, oh, okay, I thought I was strong, and I was like, okay, there's grown man strength up there. I'm only 19, but it was never forget that game. That was we won. I held my own, but
Hell yeah.
That's great.
it was definitely a memorable moment.
That's
And
fantastic.
then I got one which is really the worst moment. Versus Michigan, we scored our touchdown my senior year. That play, I blew out my knee. And that was very same play. I blew out my knee. I actually was watching film about a week ago to show to some of my players, and I just happened to come across it, and it was right there. I was able to see it happen, and it wasn't a good one, but
Man, that's hard to watch. I have trouble watching other guys get injured, you know, when I'm watching on
man.
Sundays or something. Watching myself. Same thing
I've
happened
done
to
it
me,
twice.
obviously,
I'm
in high
glad it
school.
wasn't on
But
camera.
yeah. Oof. That's gnarly, man. That is absolutely gnarly.
it was tough to watch, but it's stuff you gotta live with and kind of learn teaching points I could teach some of the kids.
Absolutely.
That was how I could have possibly prevented it.
That's a crazy story, and I was gonna say I don't know if I would have ever. I don't know if I could stomach watching myself get injured like that.
Yeah.
But the Ball State one, that is insane. So Ball State's out here recruiting 31-year-old Army guys. That's absolutely wild to me.
Bruce, thanks for liking the stream, man.
If you never played any professional ball, you still have eligibility left.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess I gotta get to the CDD Academy. I think Bobby, why don't you lead us into some questions here on CDD?
Yeah, absolutely. So first question I have for you: who or what was the inspiration for setting up the academy?
Well, I had a football coach. I won't name his name because he's still coaching. He's at somewhere else now. But I myself at 19 got my girlfriend pregnant and thought I was going to have to leave. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to play anymore. I'm going to have to get a job and go home and take care of business.
Right.
I had a coach pull me aside. He was like, that's the dumbest thing you could do. You can work here. We can bring them up here and we'll find stuff for you. This coach went on for 2 years to quote unquote have me clean his house, um, babysit his house, play with his kids basically, and he would pretty much give me money, help me out, buy diapers, buy all these things outside of football, and it made me just think it was a community and something that I should
Absolutely.
give back. And he was also, one of the best coaches I've ever had. So he kind of inspired me to give back and do my football academy.
Gotcha. So
I
how
just
did
got
you get?
goosebumps, man. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
man. That's
So like how did you get started with it? Like how did this whole thing come to life?
Well, my girlfriend Mica, my partner, she's been telling me I had well, she wasn't telling me I was out of shape. I was like, I didn't got out of shape.
they
I haven't
doing
had to
so many
play.
words.
Right. I haven't, she wasn't telling me, but I haven't had to play. I didn't have to go and work out at 5 a.m., run. And it was, let's just say a couple years go by and it's like, oh, well, I done lost it. Well, she kind of told me I didn't lose it. And she was a coach herself for basketball.
Oh
And
wow.
just watching her and kind of getting back in the swing of things, I saw a need and thought I would fill it. And I like coaching kids, so figured she kind of gave me the motivation, like, you can do this. Yeah, we can do it. And then next thing I know, I'm holding the camp and training folks to kind of try to achieve their dream and elevate themselves.
Absolutely. No, yeah, I looked at the website. It's fantastic. You guys offer quite a bit of services, everything from personal training, group training to meal prepping. Like the meal prepping was what I was most impressed with. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
I think that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And honestly, Bobby, that's a perfect segue to one of the questions I had for you, Blaec, is, and I mean, when you talk about football, everyone talks about X's and O's and you obviously seem to harness that and you have the background to do it. But when it comes to the nutrition side of the training as well, I mean, how did that become such a big part of your program?
I've had, let me see, I've had about 70 surgeries, and then like off and on scope surgeries and stuff
70?
equaling up.
Like 70?
No, 17.
Oh,
Like one
I mean,
seven,
that's
my
still
bad.
a lot.
That's
But
still a lot.
Still
Yeah, I was
I was
like,
like,
dude.
holy smokes.
From high school all the way through college, I've had to have stuff worked on my knee. And one of the biggest things as a football player in general, to be able to recover faster, to be able to make yourself stronger, your nutrition is key. You hear it all the time. You are what you eat.
Yeah.
And it's true for a football player. If you're out there eating sugar and candy all the time, and yeah, you may be fast and you're able to perform at a high level for the first 2 quarters, but then you start seeing, why is he getting tired on the third? Why can't he run in the fourth? That's because his gas tank is done. And the only way to fill your gas tank up is to eat the right foods. We decided to kind of throw that in there now because a lot of people think dieting is the way to go. And you hear diets all the time. Well, for a short term gain, it's perfect. But throughout the years and for your body in general, dieting is not good for you. So just learning what to eat, how to eat, portions on the regular portions to eat. It just gives you an advantage that some people don't have. And if we can teach you that at 6 and then continue to teach you that until you're 18, and when you get up to the college levels and they're telling you you can't eat this and you have to make a certain weight or you have to gain weight, it's not a shock to you. It's not hard for you. It's okay. Oh, well, I'll just eat this. Oh, I need to gain weight, eat a little bit more. What can I, I tell people all the time, you don't have to stay away from your sweets and stuff. I don't really eat sweets, but you don't have to stay away from it. You just have to moderate it.
Control it.
Just
Right.
just don't torture yourself. Oh, I can't have the cake today. No, you can have some of the cake. Eat half the slice you were going to eat, or if you eat the slice you're going to eat, just work out. You got to balance
Right.
yourself out. Drink water. But that's one thing that Mica really kind of honed in on is the nutrition, and said we could really help a lot of people with that. And she
That-
made my meal preps, and I've lost 30 pounds. So
Damn, dude, I need that. I have the largest sweet tooth in the history of the planet. Like I literally finished dinner. I'm just like looking around. I bet honey could make some brownies real quick.
Yeah,
That'd be
right.
pretty sweet.
Like, I just had something salty. Now I'd see something sweet.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
and I got to imagine too, like and definitely much more when I was a kid, right? I definitely had more of that. I have the fastest metabolism in the world. I'm good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to kind of get that going at such a young age, is that difficult to do, like with kids? Because I can imagine somebody trying to tell me, like, I know you guys offer basically K through 12, training services and stuff like that. So, how do you differentiate that kind of and getting that ingrained for like the earlier people as opposed to somebody who maybe you're starting with at like 16?
Right. So a lot of it has been trial and error right now. We're kind of going through, but I'm using my own kids for example. I got one kid that's heck of an athlete. I'm talking like he's a dribble before he could walk type, and he's 10. He's definitely gonna. There's everyone's after him. Every time we go somewhere, he's the one that they're like, "Hey, 24 doesn't get the ball. Don't let him get the ball." Well, he likes to eat just chicken nuggets and fries. Like he only likes to eat, that's in general. Kids in general only like to eat a certain group. He doesn't like to eat the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So we're trying to figure out how we can incorporate. I mean, we have some dishes, but incorporate for those picky eaters other vegetables or other styles of food for them to eat that will give them the energy they actually need, and hopefully it's good. So they like, oh, I like that. I'll try. I'll at least eat this. I'll at least eat this. If they try it, most of the time they like it. Just we don't have to go too eccentric. Just chicken and rice. There's certain types cook it different ways. I mean, there's obviously other meals. A guy we played football with, Matthew Frakes. He's a nutritionist at Notre Dame right now.
Oh wow!
And he's the head nutritionist there. So I've reached out to him, and hopefully we can possibly do something. He can kind of enlighten me on some. Hey, try this. You can eat these foods are really good for this, and make it really a whole a nutrition plan for K through 12. And then obviously once you get into it, we would make it more pinpoint for you because everybody's different. So.
Sure.
But that was
That's
kind
fantastic.
of her idea, and it's been working so far. It works very well. People are liking it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's great. And
Thank you.
I guess lastly, at least for me, I mean, I'm a fellow BG alum, so I love kind of hearing these stories. And you kind of already answered this a little bit with your coach, who kind of helped you out when you found out about the situation you were in at 19. So, I mean, are there any other, maybe it's like a teammate or something about being a part of the Bowling Green football program that, whether it's I don't know, a locker room mantra or something that you kind of carry with yourself that really, carries itself with CDD Football Academy as well?
Man, that's a good question. I'd say that the team mantra of becoming disciplined and champions. That was kind of a mantra we had. I was grateful enough and lucky enough to play with Freddie Barnes, who led the
Goat.
Yeah.
Goat.
NCAA in catches, touchdowns, and yards that in one year.
Unstoppable.
Blitnikoff finalist, baby. Oh yeah.
You know, and I was, but that was if you ask him, that was a whole team effort. That was him getting up and working on himself, and then also getting us to, hey, I need you guys to come in and watch film with me. I need you guys to come work out with me. We need to do this, as that team aspect again. And my first and second year before the coaching change, the team aspect was we do everything together. And it's community, and we, if anybody needs help, we help them, and then we also work together on our technique and on our explosion and other things through football. And it's just always stuck with me whenever I've entered into a job. Um, Playing football in general for Bowling Green has made it very easy for me to come in, and they see it. Oh, this is what you're about. They see my values, my core values, and it's because of them at BG. And I wouldn't say one person, but the whole team has really kind of made me who I am today and helped me start CDD football. I don't want to mention that coach's name because I would just say
no,
him,
I get it. Well, now we got
he's-
NIL and stuff. I don't know. He's probably not grandfathered in, so I get it. But
well, shoot.
Well, honestly, that's so cool to hear about Freddie Barnes. Like that, we all know about the stats that he put up, and he was, electric that year. But at the same time, understanding how important the other 10 guys on the field are to, somebody that not pads the stats, but you know what I mean? Like he's the guy who's statistically standing out, understands that. That's awesome. That's so cool to hear.
I mean, he was a legend when we were at school, Aaron. I mean, it was like, we were just like Freddie, every time we were just we were so hyped about watching him play. It wasn't, if he was going to score, is how many times he was going to score out there, and it was a blast to watch him. So that's pretty cool. You could go
on ESPN and sort by like receiver stats, like yards, catches, and you're like, oh look, BG's right at the top. That's pretty cool.
Hey, being a part of that offensive line, you feel good too.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah,
anytime points go on the board, you're like, we just caught a dub, baby.
That's right. That's right. So give us some kind of insight on what's going on at the academy right now. What I think you guys had a camp today. I think blocking for everyone or something. I believe that was what the camp was today.
Yep, I had just a makeup camp for blocking for anyone on CDD Academy football. Kind of got the shirts. I know you can't see it there, but
there we go.
Right now we're rounding off camp season. Camp season kind of goes until late July, 1st August. Everybody's getting into their own their school camps right now, but we've been focusing on, like I said, group trainings. I go to a couple schools where I'm helping out the offensive linemen, the big guys generally, with their footwork and hand placement and aggression and explosion. That's what we do when we bring someone in for a personal training. I'm geared toward the bigger guys. Not saying I can't. We also the camp was blockings for everyone because blocking is for everyone. Wide receivers, Cooper Kupp. He's not only a great can catch and run, but he can block.
Yep, absolutely,
he's one of the best at it. And when you can do that, that helps your team win a lot more than lose. And running backs need to block, quarterbacks even sometimes block. You don't want them doing too much though. They get,
so just from my perspective, what was your playing weight? Like height, weight, like what was your
let me see, I actually grew another inch, but I'm about 6. When I played, I was about 6'5", 6'4", 6'4" and a half, 6'5", and then I was about 315.
Shoo.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I'm not
about
trying to get by you.
6'5", maybe 6'6" right now, though.
There we go. So what's coming up next? Obviously you got, like you said, the school camps are going on. Are we focused on individuals, if we have people watching right now, we got some people that are out there that are parents in the Cincinnati Dayton market, and you guys are just northern Cincinnati, Dayton. Where can they find the camps?
Yeah, well, we actually go. We're actually a traveling camp, and I wanted to make it like a Greater Miami conference type thing, where we're going through Cincinnati, and then we come down to Dayton, Trotwood area. I wanted to make sure I hit Winton Woods. Winton Woods just won the state championship, so there's a lot of athletes up there. But one of the other reasons I started the academy and kind of doing camps along with other things, but there's no camps for bigger guys around here like that are throughout the year. You usually have to go to, I want to say, a college to actually get your big guys known. And
Yeah.
that we wanted to create something around this area and start funneling things through. When you start thinking about like Alabama and Florida, you think about their big guys. They're fast and they're fast and strong and they're big. Well, we got fast and strong big guys up here too, and it's just we're more spread out. And I want something that's going to kind of represent us all up north, and then kind of show that hey, we're the same and we can produce the same quality, which we do.
Absolutely. Oh, that's fantastic. So, like I was going into moving forward here as we approach football season, and I know we're all absolutely just freaking jacked out of our mind. Training camp's right around the corner for the NFL, college football. I think we're like 45 days away from college football getting started, so everybody's getting excited for that. What is CDD going to be doing during the season, or are we looking towards next year already? What's coming up next for you guys?
Well, we have group trainings are what we're going to be doing kind of on Sunday and individual training. A lot of what we do and what we'll continue to do is I offer a film study. So I'll come watch one of your games. I'll tape it, film you, and give you corrections of your games. I know your coaches are doing that, but we'll give you corrections and then we'll one-on-one stuff you need to work on. Okay, this is what you did here. We're going to do this here. In football, you don't get a lot of one-on-one. It's your sharing time.
Unless you screw up on tape, you're going to get some one-on-one. You're going to get put on blast.
You get rewound. Now, what they do is rewind. They'll keep rewinding and pointing at you. What is this? Making sure everybody sees it. That's
right.
But they don't necessarily work on you by yourself because they don't have the time to.
Mm-hmm.
And good players, they work off the field afterwards. They do extra. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to help you know what that extra is. What's going to help you? What do you need to work on? If you're always working on your stance, but your stance is great, that's good. What else is, what else do you need to work on? No, I don't like my left-handed stance. Well, you got to work on it. How can we make this better for you? I did what we do, go to your location. So I'll come to your house and train you. I have equipment that I can bring with me and train you in at your house. We can go to a park, something. I can go anywhere that's kind of close if I'm doing a group training or a personal training, anywhere that's close to you, and we'll make it work there. So it's a lot easier. I say I do cover a good area. You just kind of got
overhead though. It's not like you have a facility to pay for anything like that. Just kind of using what's there, and that's really smart.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it cost effective. I don't want to run my camps at, hey, I need $70 or $50 a day for a camp. It's harder for parents. I know parents are spending $275 for your son to play football.
Wow.
Okay,
right.
for your in Pee Wee.
Right.
Okay, so that you're spending. Okay, now you want to get them trained. Now you're spending for one camp $50 for an hour and a half. Well, that's a lot. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to really get these kids to, hey, I trained at CDD and now I start now, or I'm going to didn't have any college offers, and all of a sudden I'm training at CDD and I'm getting college offers. I have connections up in college. I want to be able to get more kids opportunity than they would have had.
And even then, when the kids are saying that in high school or even younger than that, then you're encouraging all the other kids to check CDD out as well. Just the word of mouth of it, that's a good approach too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's I just took the words out of my mouth there. You often find that people with that kind of business approach, whether it's Blaec, what you and I do in logistics, or whether it's in football training or any aspect of business, right? If you have that approach of you're genuine, you want to help, and you want to do the right thing, the good stuff's going to come back to you. You give, and you find that you get and you get and you get as well. So that's fantastic to hear, man. You've given us a beautiful layout of what you guys got going on here at CDD. Very, very happy for you to have come on and tell us everything about it. If you have a young athlete in your friends or family group, please check out CDD Football Academy. You can register right now at cddfootballacademy.com. There's meal planning, film review, one-on-one sessions, group sessions. They got it all there at CDD. It's going to be the next big thing popping off in the greater Miami Valley area. Blaec, is there anything else that you wanted to drop on here before we let you get back to it, man?
No, I really appreciate you guys letting me come on, and I'll definitely be tuning in a lot more.
Love it.
That's
Love
awesome.
to hear.
Love to hear that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up one more time for Mr. Blaec Walker. Blaec, you have a good rest of your night, my man. We'll be talking to you, all right?
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on.
See you, Blaec. That was fantastic.
Man, that was awesome. I feel like I need like a one-on-one with Blaec, like just for my own personal life.
Explosiveness in life. Like Aaron's
he's like, all right, so what do you see wrong here? And you're like, I did the laundry 2 days ago and I haven't folded it yet. And he's like, all right, so how do we get better at that?
How do we get better?
I have a mountain of clothes on my bed today.
Or worse, I washed the laundry 2 days ago and it's still in the washing machine. And now I have to wash it again.
You gotta just throw the dryer on 20 and get the wrinkles out. No, honestly, I was getting so juiced up just hearing some of those stories, man. That was awesome. I really appreciate Blaec coming on, and obviously everyone check out CDD Football Academy. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, just think about how that would have changed so many lives, like that film study and like that type of like one-on-one engagement. If we had that when we were, I'm not saying any of us in this room are professional athletes by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I do still have my 5-year eligibility.
Me too. Clearly,
I still have my 5 years of eligibility.
Still up,
and I'm 31. I just wasn't a Marine.
Yeah, just had to get in shape and go play defensive end at Ball State and go.
Ready?
Apparently, they're putting out offers.
I'm gonna be Dr. James by the time I leave college football.
Volleyball champions. I don't know. He's got some athleticism.
Right. That's crazy.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
The nutrition thing is what is. I love that approach to it because people do film studies, people do one-on-ones and stuff like that, but. And talking to him too, when I was a kid, like I don't know about you guys, but whatever I saw and I was hungry for, I would just eat. Like nobody taught me about nutrition as a younger kid.
Dude, I would come home and eat like 3 bowls of
creating those habits early and hearing him talk about, okay, you need to put on weight, you need to take weight off. Now we know, what is behind this and how to do that. That's just something that you aren't getting everywhere. And that's just such an interesting approach.
I would literally come home and eat like 2 or 3 bowls of sugar cereal almost on a daily basis.
Or not hot, like pizza rolls. And
I literally just ate 30 pizza rolls for dinner.
Did you just get home from school, Bobby?
Yeah.
No, Bobby, you're like, pizza rolls sound good.
Hey, you throw those things in the air fryer, they're money.
Dude, those are so good.
In 8 minutes.
This is like the adult.
You hear that little ting and you're like, ooh, pizza rolls.
All right, let's take a look at the tape here. Did we really need 30?
Yeah, right. That's what we need Blaec for. Yeah, we
That's
need
what
him
I'm saying. Like I need that.
Like,
in my
did we
personal
need
life.
30? All right, let's stop right here. After 15, you ate 15. Look at you. Look at you. You're looking at the plate right now, wondering, do you need to finish those? That means you don't.
Well, but there's ranch left.
I don't dip my pizza rolls in ranch.
Oh, I'm sorry, connoisseur over here.
Yeah, ranch with sriracha is. But no,
What do you dip them in, or do you just raw dog
it.
pizza rolls?
You raw dog pizza rolls, don't you?
I raw dog pizza rolls. Yeah.
You fucking animal.
Pepperoni Totinos.
Dude, you're an animal, Bob. You're an absolute animal. But honestly, no, it's fantastic. It's cool. You know, Blaec and I came up. What up, Jaden? Jaden jumping in the chat.
Jaden, let's go.
No, Blaec and I came up together in logistics. Liking the stream too, buddy. Thank you so much. We came up in logistics together, and I found out he was a BG alum, and then he played football. So I was just like, dude, all right, asking him stories and bugging him and stuff. But no, he's a super, super nice guy. Couldn't be happy for him that he's, kind of following the path, kind of like, what we are right now, doing some stuff that we all love and talking about sports and getting people involved in that. So absolutely fantastic. So shout out again to Blaec at CDD Football Academy. Appreciate him coming on. For anybody else in the community, if you've got something like that going on, or if you're a fellow podcaster, you want to be a guest on Rally Top Sports, hit us up, man. You want to be a sponsor, Jaden? You want to get that lawn care business popping off? Hit us up. We can talk sponsorship packages. We can get it going over here at Rally Top sure. So I know there's not a whole lot going on, but I did throw something in our group chat a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Aaron, yeah. Report is the Utah Jazz have explored a sign-and trade scenario that would send Mike Conley to Cleveland for Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is somebody that you have adamantly said is not leaving Cleveland. It wouldn't make any sense for him to leave Cleveland.
I mean, it wouldn't, because he's not getting any offers. We have his restricted rights. So the only time it would make sense is in a sign-and-trade situation, but we need we just signed Ricky Rubio to a 3-year contract extension. But not extension because we technically traded him, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, that's Mike Conley is that role. You're trading Colin Sexton, who is a young piece that fits in with your timeline of Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. You throw Colin Sexton there, even if it's just on a year deal. You might lose him for nothing next year, but that isn't really important right now. I don't need to give up an asset to get an aging one back. Now, if we're getting maybe like a pick or two back, maybe one of those Minnesota ones or something like that, now we can talk a little bit. But Mike Conley doesn't really fit with what the Cavs need right now. And I'm telling you guys, they're gonna make the playoffs next year. I am very high in the Cavs. Before they were injured, they got disgustingly injured last year. They were like the 3rd and 4th seed. Like,
I don't think anybody here would dispute that they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, just based on where they, like you said, the injuries and where they landed last year in the play-in, right?
Right.
These guys, they're one of the youngest teams in the East, and they're getting better. Like, you would just think with time and that group sticking together, they're going to continue to improve. I think they're going to, probably come in right around that 6, maybe even a 5 in the East. Obviously, the East is. I think the East is stronger than the West from top to bottom. I honestly believe that. Just looking at every single team, like, let's just look at it right now, the way that the East is laid out. Let's assume Kyrie or Kevin Durant, one of those guys is still on the Nets, right? Let's assume that. You've got Philly still. You've got Milwaukee. You obviously have, the Cavs. Don't forget the Heat. Don't forget Boston that just made the finals.
Don't forget the Hawks just traded for Giannis.
The Hawks is exactly where I was going next. Don't forget the Hawks. Don't forget the Hornets are up and coming as well. They're getting better.
What the Pistons do.
And let's see where the Pistons. Yeah, I didn't want to lead off with them just because I've been high on the Pistons over the last couple of weeks. I got to cool it off a little bit here.
Well, no, but like, if you're a Pistons fan, there's no reason to not like. So as a Cavs
Ricky
fan last year,
Eball liking the stream. What's up, Ricky?
But as a Cavs fan last year, what were we saying? Hey, if we make the play-in, that's a successful season,
right?
Yeah.
Now as the season went on, it ended up being a little bit of a
letdown.
But if you told me at the beginning of the season last year that's how it was going to go, I feel like that's the same way Pistons fans are going to be looking at this season coming up, and I think they have every right to.
Absolutely, I think obviously Jay and I be getting banged up a little bit early here in summer league. I think that's something that they're not psyched about. Obviously,
yeah.
I think it was like a high ankle sprain, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're just going to shut him down for the rest of summer league, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see anything on follow up on that, but then Durant, the way he's playing, they look good. They look strong. Cade is obviously going to be better. I think that they have a lot to offer out of those three, that young core that they have going there right now. And who's to say that they're not going to be able to make a play for a not a blockbuster type guy, but a solid veteran, kind of what Jaden's saying here. I think the Cavs need a player in their prime that is a leader and isn't too expensive. So what he's kind of coming at here, sorry for blocking you there, Aaron. What he's kind of saying is that they need one of these guys that's able to, come in and be effective and lead this team, but is not going to be a Kevin Durant type price tag, right?
Right. No, I get what Jaden's saying. The only thing is like players in their prime are getting paid. You know what I mean? They're like there's rookie deals which are great on your cap, but you pretty much have to draft them because players aren't really going to give up guys on rookie deals that are successful players for nothing, or if at all, because there's just a little bit more value to that against the cap. A player that I think would maybe fit in with what Jaden's saying, and I don't even think he's available, but if he were to, if I were the Cavs, I would do everything I could to try to get him, is Brandon Ingram with the Pelicans. Yeah, I think he would be the perfect kind of player that the Cavs need. And the Cavs, I don't think they necessarily need leadership in that sense, but they don't, like Darius Garland, I think they have a lot of lead by example guys. Garland, Mobley, and Allen. No one is like I'm gonna get loud and get everybody jacked up. Colin Sexton kind of fills that role a little bit, so it'd be interesting to see with his inclusion back into this lineup once he's healthy, because we were unfortunately, we lost him last year. I think Ricky Rubio is also kind of that guy. He is definitely a veteran leader.
Stay healthy, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's the key. And we started this conversation. I was talking about Utah, Mike Conley, rumor going around, and that's what happens at Summer League, right? All of these, everyone goes, right? All the stars go, all the GMs go, all the head coaches are there. All these guys are getting together, supposedly, and then rumors just start flying around. Things just start going crazy. 70% of them aren't true, but one team that consistently gets thrown around right now is Utah. Utah's been thrown around. I think that's because of the addition of Danny Ainge to the front office.
Right.
You saw what he was able to do in Boston and what he was able to do to generate all that draft capital and then rebuild that roster to one of the best young rosters in the NBA. I think Utah ownership has brought Danny Ainge in and just said, do your fucking thing, man. Do your thing.
Oh, of course.
Get us back. We trust you based on your track record, right? So that's why you keep hearing Utah popping around. I wouldn't be surprised if Donovan Mitchell plays this year. He could be gone next year. He's under contract for 4 years. Don't forget that he's under contract for all that time. Who's to say he doesn't move at the trade deadline as well? Utah is going to wait for a team that is going to offer more, equal or more than what they got for Rudy Gobert, and they have the time to do it, right? They have the time to sit. No, what are they? They're in a rebuild. They have him under contract for 4 years.
Yeah, no, I'm just on record as saying the Gobert one is one of the worst trades I've ever seen.
Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't.
Not for Utah again. And I know you're
no. What you're talking about is the gap of what was given and what was received is the largest that you've seen in a long time. But what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that may be true, but it also may be the market. And the only way we're going to find that out is if another marquee player gets moved, which hasn't happened yet. And there's two big ones sitting out there. Well, obviously Kyrie Irving is one, but whatever. I don't think he will demand anywhere near what Rudy Gobert got, just based on what he's done to shoot himself in the foot on a consistent basis. You have Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell are the two biggest, in my opinion. Those are the two biggest pieces that can be moved at this time. And what we're really waiting, I think a lot of teams are waiting for one of those players to move so that they can then base their offer off of that. And there's two teams, both of which Aaron brought up last week. The two teams that make the most sense for either of those players. What's the first one, Aaron?
The ones I said last week were Oklahoma City and New Orleans.
I think they make the most sense for both of those teams.
They have the assets to do it, and they can do that without giving. Because here's the thing: for Donovan Mitchell and Durant with the price tag, it doesn't make sense to spend the farm on Durant for him to come in and have no one else to play with.
Exactly.
So you need a team that has a
treasure
trove
capital
of picks.
Yep. Absolutely. And what you had said for the Pelicans, they could offer a Brandon Ingram. They could offer that that up plus picks to Brooklyn. The Oklahoma City Thunder, I think, have 16 first-round picks over the next 3 or 4 years or something stupid like that. It's something crazy, right?
Like 8 years or so.
8 years. Okay, 8 years. 8 years still. It's. I mean, that's 2 first-round picks. I mean, that's a lot to be able to. Right. That's a lot to be able to offer somebody. So when you have that kind of draft capital, you don't have to give up one of your marquee players that's going to draw you in. And Oklahoma City would be so fucking dope, dude. I mean, if Kevin Durant went back to Oklahoma City, it would just
it'd be like LeBron. Although there's obviously LeBron being born in Cleveland there's a little piece of it for that, but to go back and win a championship for the team that you spurned, like it's poetic in a way. Like I feel like people viewed LeBron's championship in Cleveland worth more than just a singular championship on like a resume standpoint. And I think if Durant were able to do that, especially since it's kind of, again, it's very similar where LeBron won these rings in Miami and everyone's like, okay, well, we can't say you're ringless anymore, but like also, bro, not the same. Like,
right. And then he won in Cleveland, and I think he shut up everybody for at least a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's won a championship with 3 different teams. You can't. I mean, if you want to call it a Mickey Mouse championship, whatever, he still fucking beat him. Nobody else beat him. So he didn't get beat in the Mickey Mouse championship. He won. So I'm sorry, you were playing under the same premise that he was.
That one counts all the same to me.
It does. I agree. I completely agree. It wasn't as exciting. Just based on, I think socioeconomic conditions of the fucking planet. But
I mean, it didn't because there was just this absolute need. And me and Bobby talked about this last night. Like when the match came on for like the Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning game, it was the first time in like 3 months there was any form of live sports on television. Yeah. And I treated it like the goddamn Super Bowl. So like the bubble was so important to me because it was just this like, oh, I need this.
And it lasted to the middle of fucking July. It lasted to the middle of July. We had sports up until training camp. You know what I mean? And
it was real sports.
This is like the first year in like 3 years that we are actually having the dog days of summer for sports. Like we're actually going through it.
That's
you know what I mean?
A really great point. I never even put together is
this is like the first time in a while that we're going through this lull.
Last year that they started late because of the way the bubble ended. They had like right now I think there might have even still been basketball going on or it was just ending.
I think it was mid-July is when the finals were.
The NFL kept its actual schedule, but it was like awesome to have. Oh, that's such a great point.
Yeah.
I think the last time we had like a break like this is when they canceled March Madness.
Dude, it was fucking miserable. Absolutely. You know what the bullshit part about it? University of Dayton was bound for a national championship that year.
Are you kidding me, Corey? Bowling Green was. Not really. But they were number 1 in the MAC, and I was supposed to go to the championship game against Akron.
Oh, man.
It was absolutely because they play that in Cleveland.
I remember that. I remember sitting around talking to like my coworkers, like, of course, BG is in the MAC championship. Yeah. Ready to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament and COVID.
But yeah, Dayton too. I get it.
Yeah, but Dayton was a fucking steamroller. So back to Kevin Durant. I saw this point on, I think it was on Instagram. I was watching this video today. And Bobby, I'm curious what your perspective is on this. A lot of people call Kevin Durant a bitch, right? He's a little bitch for going to Golden State, the team that he couldn't beat, and he won a championship there. And I kind of shrugged that off a little bit because, he won the finals MVP twice, right? He won 2 rings there, won finals MVP twice. What is it to say when Kevin Durant wants out of Brooklyn, when shit gets tough in Brooklyn, the number 1 team that he lists is a team that had the best regular season record in the NBA last year, the Phoenix Suns. What is that? How do you feel about Kevin Durant in that sentence, I guess?
So I can't remember who said it, but I really liked what they had to say. Kevin Durant is a guy that can be an MVP on any team, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to make anybody around him better. And I think that's kind of where my perspective on Kevin Durant lies. He's going to come in. He's going to be a great asset for your team, but genuinely, does he make anybody on that team a better player? Does he draw people to that team to play with him? He's usually the one going to these power teams. You don't see anybody coming to join Kevin Durant. It's usually the other way around. And I'm sure the Phoenix Suns would love to have him, but I think, the only blemish on Kevin Durant's Hall of Fame resume is the fact that he is deemed a ring chaser. And I would agree with the point that I cannot remember who said it. I don't think it was Nick Wright, but it was somebody that he just doesn't make anybody around him better. Like Steph Curry, he makes people better. That was like the biggest point. And I don't know. I would agree with that. I'd say he's kind of a bitch.
So what about this comment here from Jaden? Kevin Durant has 2 rings handed him by the help of the rest of the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean that was.
Aaron, you can chime in too. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was a dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, they won this year.
Yeah,
I still consider that to be a dynasty.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for Durant though, like, does he make people better? Like, he's not like LeBron or Giannis, where he's also a really good passer. Like, that's just not really necessarily Durant's game. He's not bad, but like, you can see LeBron, like watching LeBron, especially like prime LeBron, just make these passes that are otherworldly. I mean, like that's why I've always said he's so much more Magic Johnson than he is Michael Jordan. It's just the way that he sees the court. Now Durant does too, but just not in that same way, where he's not really like an artist passer. But he still gets guys open. And not only that, but like the amount of attention that Durant causes for himself does make the people around him better.
I agree.
And how much is that worth? I think a lot.
I think it's more so from a leadership perspective in a team.
Oh yeah, it
has nothing to do with the gameplay. It's just about him as a human being. Is he going to make you as a human being and a player a better player?
Not when he's a bitch.
Not is he going to draw more attention and leave you open so you can drain a shot. You're a professional. You should be able to do that.
Kevin Durant, come on, Rally Towel Sports and defend yourself, Kevin Durant. Come on,
come on, Kevin. You scared? No, but to Jaden's point, like, having 2 rings handed to him, obviously I'm completely biased here because, like, I believe that. I believe the 2017 Cleveland Cavaliers were steps above the 2016 Cavaliers, which were a great team. They beat the highest win total regular season team of all time, and 2017 would have kicked the shit out of them too. So, I mean, you have the Warriors basically trading Harrison Barnes for Kevin Durant. And again, I've talked about this at length. It was only because of the ridiculous salary cap increase and the Warriors still playing these guys on rookie deals. So, it is what it is. And there's, it's what happened, but take somebody like Charles Barkley. He'd take any one of those rings. You know what I mean? I don't mind when there's ring chasing, when that's the only way we're allowed to discuss basketball, where it's like, oh, well, you don't have a ring, dude, so shut the fuck. It's like, there's so much more nuance to that, and I hate that argument. So as long as everyone is going to make that the argument, I understand why the players do it. And to me, it's unfortunate for the game.
It is about to say. I mean, we got to witness. I mean, it was a lot of fun watching the Warriors play. It wasn't as competitive at times, but
counterpoint, it was not.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I know.
I got a championship out of it.
That's fantastic.
Won't complain.
I just love. I don't. This is weird. I don't really hate Kevin Durant a lot. I think he is probably next to Steph Curry. I think he's the best scorer in my lifetime. In terms of playing the game of basketball, he is.
What about Kobe?
I think Kevin Durant can score from more places on the court, and in tighter defense. I think I'm not trying to take again. This is like you're asking me to just pick between 2 of the greatest things on the planet. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I would say compare eras, right? Because they could score from anywhere because people are allowed to take 40-footers.
I think that there's something to that. I
40-footer in LA, Phil Jackson sitting your I don't even care.
What I think that when I watch Kevin Durant, I watch a guy that has an unguardable shot. He has a release point, a fadeaway that you cannot physically block him. It can't happen. I would be interested. I have no idea what the stats are. I'd be interested to see what the statistics are and how many times he's been blocked in comparison to some of these other guys that we're looking at, because just the way he does that look, that already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That either the turnaround fade that Dirk made so famous.
I was going to say, it's just like Dirk.
Exactly. And his height, his frame, the different styles that he can play. If you want to get down in the paint, he can do that. He can ISO you. He can do it all. He can literally score at any time. And it's just so clean every single time he shoots. It's so clean. Is he a little bitch? Yeah. But he's like but he is like one of my favorite basketball players I've ever seen play basketball. If I can throw that out there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to be what I said to be mistaken. Kevin
He's a
Durant
bitch. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, amazing basketball player. It's just more about what's in here. I'm big on that. I want somebody to be a great teammate. That can make or break me.
Like Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, great teammate. Just bringing guns for everybody in the locker room.
No, Bobby, I can imagine Bobby's a big like Ray Allen fan.
Love Ray Allen.
Yeah. I believe
okay.
that. Like that, or Robert Ory. Like just what?
I mean,
just kidding. I love Robert Ory.
Most championships ever, right? So
big shot Rob.
So I mean, what about Reggie Miller, Bobby? Where does he come in on your teammate scale?
I mean, pretty high. I mean, he's
okay. He's kind of an antagonist, right? Reggie Miller is a flashy.
He was that guy that was going to talk shit and back it up
constantly
and drain a 3 right in your face and then get the team pumped. You know what I mean?
What about Michael Jordan?
I mean, I would say Jordan was a pretty good teammate for the most part outside of
everything.
Yeah. He's the biggest dickhead.
I can't talk. He's one of the best to ever play. I'm not going to talk shit about him being
he's one of the best to ever play, but he certainly is never being regarded as one of the best teammates ever.
Or like a nice guy.
Yeah.
No. I mean, Kobe wasn't a nice guy.
That's where I was going next, actually, is Kobe Bryant. He's probably one of the worst teammates of all time, Kobe Bryant.
One of my greatest subtle stories that they gave like 5 seconds of screen time to in The Last Dance was Scottie Pippen talking about in his rookie year, Michael Jordan gifted him a golf club set. And then he's like, I think I found out pretty later so he could hustle me my whole career. He's like, here you go, man. Here's a gift for you. Welcome to the team.
Let's go play 18 for $3,000.
That's paid for itself.
I feel like I know one that Bobby is in, like Bobby's Mount Rushmore is like Chauncey Billups.
Oh, Chauncey.
You gotta love that Pistons team with him and Rip Hamilton.
Yeah, and he was Captain Kirk of that Pistons.
Rasheed.
Yeah, Tayshaun.
Oh yeah.
Tayshaun Prince. I know Todd's getting a little hard on for Tayshaun over there. I know when he's watching it. Getting a little UK love for you there, Toddy.
But I will tell you, I have grown to respect Kobe a heck of a lot more. Like after he retired, and just like really learning about his work ethic, because you didn't really get to see a lot of that. The media portrayed him as a terrible teammate,
a villain,
a villain, and you didn't really learn all of these nuances about how great of a human being he actually was until he, unfortunately passed away. And then you hear all these stories coming out, about how much of a badass he was. Like that story about when Michael Jordan talked shit to him, he didn't say a word to his teammates for 2 weeks. He's like, waiting to play Mike again. I don't know if you guys have heard that one, but it's a pretty good one.
Job's not finished. That's one of my favorite Kobe quotes of all time. Job's not finished.
That man worked so hard at his craft.
He did.
And
there was that. Go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like that's the kind of teammate you want. You want that guy that's going to be in there, the leader of your team. You want him to be there at 3 a.m. taking shots and getting 2 workouts in before most people wake up.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like when the whole Lakers thing kind of fell apart with him and Shaq was the one who was the lazy one, but just everyone loved Shaq. So like when that blew apart, everyone kind of blamed Kobe.
Yeah.
Even though Kobe was like, bro, if you work like half as hard as I do, we'll never lose. And he's like, I'm DJing this weekend.
Right. I'm filming Kazam, bro. Chill out.
And you're like, I kind of get it a little bit. So that's what I'm saying. Kobe was always much more Jordan, and LeBron has always been much more Magic.
Yeah. So a problem.
Right? Yeah, sure.
Well, no, that's what I said. That Magic's Magic's
Magic's a problem, but
he's a problem for defenses. That's the point I'm trying to say.
For Kobe, I think we kind of forget a little bit because they somehow got that Pau Gasol trade where he requested to be traded. The Bulls were all in on doing it. I think it was Jerry Buss before he stepped down from the team was like, we're not trading this guy. And then they figure it out. And then somehow they get this Pau Gasol trade, which is insane.
Go win another title.
Right. And they win 2.
Yeah, that's right. Was it
Celtics
2 out of 3?
Magic.
Was it 2 out of
3? Yeah, Celtics got 1 in there too.
Yeah.
But
that was the Paul Pierce, KG,
Ray Allen. Yeah, Ray Allen. They lost 1 too. But yeah, no, Kobe was an absolute dog.
What was the year? So was it still Shaq and Kobe the year? It was 2004 when the Lakers got swept by the Pistons. I think.
Yeah, that was them going for the 4-peat.
That's right. Absolutely, just fucking insane finals. No one saw that coming. The Lakers were an unstoppable force that had been there. Jaden, get the fuck out of here, that dude. But they God damn it.
I hate that I laughed at that.
I mean, it's not wrong, but just anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, the Lakers. They were just the unstoppable force, and then the Pistons just came out of nowhere and took that one down. That's
the
crazy.
Exception championship that everyone talks about.
Yeah,
it's the same one as basically both Ravens championships, where you're like, no, dude, the sum of all parts, you can get it done.
Yeah,
everyone working together.
Fucking Trent Dilfer and Joe Flacco,
or the Trent Dilfer or Joe Flacco Ravens.
It's just
no, you can win that way. I swear.
All right,
you can do
question.
it.
Is that bad for football that Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl?
I mean, that was
the fact that Trent Dilfer has a ring and Dan Marino doesn't. Yes,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Not. It's just going to show you that yes, there are different ways to win a championship roster, but one of those ways is the literal best defense you've ever seen.
Here's what it really comes down to. It is more proof that one, obviously everyone knows the Ravens are a well-run organization. I hope they fucking die and burn in hell. Fuck the Ravens, but they have a great front office. Yeah. No one has ever questioned that. We have a Bengals, a Steelers, and a Browns fan here saying that right now, right?
Fuck Art Modell for sure.
Yeah,
right?
But burn in hell, Art, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I got you, Aaron. I can appreciate that. If that ever happened to me, I'd feel the exact same way. So, how many times before Joe Burrow was drafted, though, did we hear, man, this guy, he just can't go to Cincinnati. They're going to ruin him. It's going to be terrible. He needs to request to not be drafted there so that he can be drafted by the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to do so much better with Joe Burrow than are the Cincinnati.
I never heard that.
Oh, dude, constantly.
No, he's a Southern Ohio guy.
No. So okay, so my ear's a little closer to the ground, I think, on the Twitterverse for that than both of you guys. But it happened with Burrow, and then when we drafted Chase in front of him, there was the big hissy fit as well. So there's just a little bit of a rift between there. But the point I'm trying to make is, on what fucking planet is the Miami Dolphins organization one to be revered from? Like, at what fucking universe do we live in where the Miami Dolphins are a front office or an organization that is like, you know what? They got their shit together, dude.
1972, 1973, they could have said that.
Right, so 50 fucking years ago. Dude, absolutely.
Don Shula? Heard of him?
Yeah, dude. Absolute insanity. Insane. I can't believe it. But it's a flashy market versus a small town, Midwest market that nobody really knows much about. So that's what that is. That's 100% what that is.
Absolutely.
Kind of brings me to another point. We got 2 Bengals. Cheers to. What are you guys sipping on tonight? Before we get into this, I got these light skies. My wife actually turned me on these. These are Blue Moon Light Sky. Aaron's drinking just straight vodka, lukewarm vodka.
This is moonshine.
It's Kamchatka at room temperature. I have a little
bit of bourbon in here, but I was trying to keep it light tonight.
There you go. I can appreciate that.
We had an interview to do.
Yeah,
I couldn't be just stagnant.
No, I can appreciate. That's why I got these. Are like almost what are
It's
they, like
so funny you're bringing
wheat
these up right now.
seltzers?
It's so
Why?
funny you bring these up right now because Chris did this to me on the golf course on Saturdays. Like, have you ever heard of these light skies, man? And I was like, yeah, Corey had them. You had him on the podcast last week too.
Yeah. Okay. So I've already talked about
You didn't
it.
go into it this much depth with
Okay.
them, though. I think it was before we even jumped on.
They're not like a seltzer, but they're kind of that vein. They're like a wheat beer that's super light, 3.5 carbs, 95 calories, and like we talked about earlier, training camp's coming up. I still have 5 years of eligibility in college football, clearly. So I got to lean it up. I got to get ready just in case. What? Oh, yes, yeah, Coach Taylor, you need me at Paul Brown Stadium tomorrow for training camp. I'll be there. You know what I mean? So it'll be fine. There goes my eligibility though for college.
Yeah, I was gonna
football,
say your eligibility has nothing to do with the Bengals calling you,
but it could happen. It could happen.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I appreciate you opening the scouting book for the light beer draft. And now if you want to get light sky off the board, you're going to have to attack it early.
You know what? I could just be floating things that like.
Is that what you're doing? You're
similar to the Nets
Woj
floating out.
Reporting.
What's going on in Corey's basement?
Let me tell you this. I'm going to do this until the end of time.
Dude, it's so fucking funny. I've been there doing live radio podcasts. I've been there wherever he was in his head so many fucking times where I'm just like, I've started a thought and I don't know how to complete it. So
I still think this comes back to the dog days. And now I'm imagining the person behind the camera like, Brian, stretch.
Oh my God.
That felt like.
Dude, it was so fucking funny. Absolutely hysterical. So I was talking about, the Bengals organization not getting love, but some love that is happening. There are 2 Bengals that are up in they are semifinalists, for the senior class for the Hall of Fame. Those are guys that didn't get inducted in their normal tenure. They open up more eligibility for them afterwards. And those 2 are Ken Anderson and Ken Riley. If you don't know who Ken Anderson is, he is, I think, a 4-time passing leader. I believe a 1, if not 2-time MVP. Played football for the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback. Same era as Bernie, Aaron. Kenny and Bernie were dealing it up back when we were just a twinkle in our father's eyes. And then Ken Riley, the Rattler, from, I believe it's Florida A&M University. 5th all-time interceptions in the NFL, not in the Hall of Fame. It's an absolute travesty. Ken passed away a couple of years ago. There's a big push from Bengals fans to try and get him in before he passed away. It didn't happen. His son is carrying the mantle. I believe he's involved in the Bengals organization in some capacity now as well. So finalist list comes out July 27th. And a lot of Bengals fans will be watching to see if Ken Anderson, man, come on. This guy absolutely should be in the Hall of Fame. Do you think that there is this, Bobby, I'll kick it to you first, and Aaron, I'm interested in your perspective. This, you're a fan of an organization that has none of this, coming from them. Like, there is no small town bias for the Steelers. They're a herald, one of a made man, if you will, in terms of the shield, right? The NFL, you can't, touch the Steelers. They're
kind of like Green Bay,
a cornerstone organization,
not
right?
A huge market necessarily, but it's just such a nostalgic, deep roots NFL.
Absolutely. So do you think, a cornerstone, right? So do you think that there is some of that small town bias or that small market bias that keeps guys like these out?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, it's not just football that you see it in. It's in every professional sport. But Cincinnati is a market, across the board, whether it's baseball or football, that hasn't gotten a lot of love, in regards to, the one of the best hitter in all of baseball is not in the Hall of Fame. Obviously that's for different reasons, but there's still a few Reds that aren't in the Hall of Fame that probably should be.
Sure.
And it's Ken Anderson's a guy. He was a legend in Cincinnati. He was a great football player in his time, he should definitely be in. So it's sad that it's taken this long, and it's up to the the senior voting committee to get him in. But it kind of is what it is. Jaden coming in with a question: do you think Votto gets into the Hall of Fame?
Aaron, what do you think?
Good question.
I feel like I got to throw that to you, Corey, because I don't know. I know how good Joey Votto is, but I'm certainly not in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. And Jaden, thanks for the question, man. Guys, if you have any other questions you want to keep us rolling tonight, throw them in the chat. Well, they're great discussion topics. Absolutely. Okay, let me put it to you this way. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? No fucking question in my mind. Should Joey Votto go in the Hall of Fame? Will he get in the Hall of Fame? I think he will. Will he get in first ballot? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he will. I think he's going to have a lot of guys that are going to be on that ticket when he comes around.
First ballot's a high order.
It's a high order. But I think he should, and I think he will. I mean, listen, when you look at where Joey Votto ranks, even just amongst the Reds, when you look at where he ranks in terms of home runs, when you look at where he ranks in terms of hits, in terms of doubles, extra base hits, all of the batting average, when you look at these key statistics, when you're looking at what he is, which is a hitter, all right, Joey, he's not getting made for his golden gloves. That's not what a first baseman isn't getting their recognition for. They're getting their recognition for getting on base. His on-base percentage is another thing that Joey Votto is just absolutely fantastic at. He is a guy that values a walk as much as a hit. And I think that is a huge attribute that is underappreciated about Joey Votto. And he's done it for such a long time. He was an MVP candidate 2 years ago, guys. He revitalized his career at the tail end of it, in the twilight of his career. Just absolutely started smashing the ball. And I don't think that he gets a lot of the recognition that he deserves because he has been on such abysmal teams. The teams that the Reds have put around Joey Votto have been so close to being like really good, but just not enough. Like there've been a couple of times where they've had amazing teams, but they just had one piece of the puzzle that was missing. Whether it's typically revolves around the pitching mound, believe it or not, whether it's starting pitching or the bullpen, they just seem to not be able to invest in that.
They can either have a great rotation and a shit bullpen, or a great bullpen and a shit rotation.
Absolutely. So, being that he has won division titles but never a playoff series, I think that lack of recognition comes honestly at this point, kind of turning the conversation here a little bit. I hope they trade him. It sucks. He's my favorite player on the Reds. He's the only Reds jersey that I own of an active player. Used to be Brandon Phillips. Given that to my wife now, as that is her maiden name, so she enjoys that one. But I love Joey Votto. I think what he does for the community is amazing. I think the kind of human being that he is known throughout baseball. Everybody knows how cool Joey Votto is. And I want him to reach that top, and I just know it's not going to happen with the Reds, and so I want him to go experience that.
That's interesting though, and I don't want to move off the Hall of Fame one just because while you were talking there, I got so fucking curious, and I pulled up the baseball reference for Joey Votto. So keep in mind this is very quick reactionary. But I mean, he's a 6-time All-Star. He's obviously won an MVP. Like you said, the walks, that clearly stands out when you're talking about him. He just now dipped below the 300 mark career. He's at 299, which is kind of crazy to see. Not that matters, but I don't know how familiar are you guys with Baseball Reference, but they have this really, really cool algorithm stat metric that's like similar scores, like who are the similar players for him. So of the top 10 guys that are similarly rated, if you will. And baseball is a very individual sport. So I find it interesting that you say because he's on the Reds, he can't necessarily do it, because we've seen guys make the Hall of Fame on bad teams because baseball is such an individual sport.
And maybe that's some of my bias being that I've experienced that with some of my other fan favorite players. You know what I mean?
Well, on cross sports, I love cross sports. Perfect example, Joe Thomas.
Sure.
Joe Thomas never played for a good team, but he's like the greatest left tackle of all time.
Oh, yeah. He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he'll be in the Hall of Fame, no problem. So the similar batters of the 10, The one that pops up first is Lance Berkman, which I find interesting.
Hmm.
And then there's only one player in the top 10 of him that also made the Hall of Fame, and it's
Interesting.
Edgar Martinez.
Oh, wow. I'm curious as to some of the other notable names on there.
They're all pretty notable. So you got Derek Lee, Matt Holliday, Moises Alou, Sean Green, Edgar Martinez, Brian Giles, and Ryan
Wow.
Ball.
Interesting.
And again, take that for what you will.
Yeah, I think when it comes to style of play, is that kind of what they're looking at there? Is that purely a statistical thing?
It's more so like let's take all of the numbers of a player and put them in a blender kind of thing. Like, yes, they obviously, those are all guys who hit for high average. I think one that isn't on there that would be a good example if Joey Votto just had a little bit more pop would be like Larry Walker, who is a Hall of Famer. But he's always been a plus 300 hitter, 30 home runs, 100 walks, great player. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I have to side with Aaron on this one. I don't think Joey gets in, man. He doesn't have any rings. He's never won a playoff series. He's only a 6-time All-Star. Rings play a big factor into you getting in the Hall. At least,
but he also doesn't have any. It's not even rings. It's just memorable playoff moments.
Right.
So let's talk about this. I had mentioned this earlier, so I just want to throw it out here. Career top 10 leaders. This is for just the Reds, and I'm going to list at where he ranks on some of these statistical factors and who he's ahead of. Some notable names. So his WAR for position players, wins above replacement for position players. Joey Votto's 4th all time for the Cincinnati Reds, only behind Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Barry Larkin, all Hall of Famers. Who he's ahead of: Frank Robinson, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez. Some offensive WAR. Joey Votto is 5th, only behind Pete Rose, Barry Larkin, Johnny Bench, Frank Robinson. Again, ahead of Joe Morgan, Tony Perez.
But they have championships.
I mean, that is one of the greatest baseball teams of all time, Bobby. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
So you're gonna hold right. So you're gonna hold Joey Votto responsible for the fact that he was not on one of the greatest baseball teams of all time.
I'm not holding Joey Votto responsible.
Well, if you're putting him in the Hall of Fame for that, then yes, you are.
I think it's pretty easy. I think he's a no doubt Reds Ring of Honor. The second he retires,
he's a Reds Hall of Famer,
and
no
he's
doubt.
a Hall of Famer.
Doesn't come in the top 10 on defensive WAR. Does not come into the top 10 in batting average, since he has just fallen below that 300 with the number 10th overall. Pat Duncan and Pete Rose are tied at 307 all time. On base percentage, Joey Votto is 2nd all time in on base percentage, only behind Joe Morgan. He could still overtake Joe Morgan, as he is 1/1000th point away from Joe Morgan. Joe Morgan all time on base percentage of 415. Joey Votto 414. Obviously, he's ahead of guys like Frank Robinson. Jesse Winker is 6th all time in Reds on base percentage. That's pretty amazing. Adam Dunn also there at 8th, and Pete Rose tied for 9th. Joey Votto is 3rd all time for the Reds in slugging percentage, ahead of Ken Griffey Jr., ahead of Eric Davis. On base slugging percentage, Joey Votto is 2nd all time, only behind Frank Robinson. Games played, he is 6th all time, ahead of Tony Perez, Brandon Phillips, not a Hall of Famer, Frank Robinson. At bats, Joey Votto is 6th all time, only behind Pete Rose, Dave Concepcion, Bid McPhee, Barry Larkin, Johnny Bench.
These stats are great, but they're not against the rest of the MLB. Where does he stand all time major leagues?
The point that I'm putting out there is that Joey Votto is consistently better than other Hall of Famers in key factors that come into deciding whether or not a player has had a Hall of Fame worthy career. He has better statistics than other Hall of Famers in these.
Yeah, but it's all relevant to the people that he's playing against.
Are the baseball writers going to look at Joey Votto's stats versus the Reds' stats individually? Or are they going to look at it as across Major League Baseball as a whole?
No, I am recognizing that point. What I am saying is that Joey Votto has performed at a Hall of Fame level.
For sure. Yeah, nobody's disputing that. I'm not saying
okay, so then he should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, I'm disputing that. I mean, like I said, he's an absolutely fantastic player.
He just went under 300 all-time career. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
One of the best hitters in our generation. It's not even a debate. Not even a debate.
Yeah, but he's certainly not like probably even top 5. I mean,
I mean,
I think like when I think greatest hit, like I think like Ichiro or like Miguel Cabrera or I don't know. Like I can, if I really were to break this down more, I'm sure that I could. And again, I'm more so just, I pulled up his Baseball Reference and looked at it and I was like, that's an absolutely amazing career. Is it a Hall of Fame career? Just probably not.
We'll have to get an evergreen bet going here. One that we'll undoubtedly have to wait about a decade to see the results of. Being that Joey Votto, I think, obviously 7 years after. I think it's 7 years for baseball.
Yes,
or is it 5?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so 7 years after retirement before he's even eligible for the Hall of Fame. So, what
do you guys think? You guys think he's getting in?
Yeah, Jaden, what you're the one who proposed this question. I'm over here dying on this hill, standing up for my boy 19. And I will continue.
Don't get me wrong. I love Joey Votto.
No, I don't think anybody doesn't. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, exactly.
Like yeah, I don't think anybody doesn't like him.
I certainly don't mean this to like disparage the guy.
If there's a deciding factor that does get him in the Hall, it's not going to be for his ability of what he did on the field. It's going to be for what he did off the field and for the game of baseball.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm sorry. I say fuck that too.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not about that shit.
It's the same reason I hate why
Pete Rose isn't in
the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And oh God, I fucking hate it so much because one of my strongest opinions ever is Hall of Fames in every single sport is a documentation of a piece of time. It is a museum. It is the same thing of taking a museum and saying Hitler didn't exist and just decide that history didn't happen. And I absolutely fucking hate it. I know that's an absolutely weird parallel, but you can't just decide, this thing was really, really bad in the history of our sport, so it never happened. Yeah. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Pete Rose, different reason. Obviously, I'm not doing anything steroids related. I'm just saying, you want to throw asterisks on their plaque. You want to say this guy disparaged our game by gambling on it. That's absolutely fine. But if I have a son someday or a daughter and I want to take them to the Hall of Fame, I want them to understand how the sport was in its moment. And I can't get any more pissed off about anything than that.
But I mean, Aaron, I have experienced Aaron, and Aaron, you've kind of honestly, since we first started talking about it,
back in college, I've had this opinion.
Yeah. Coming on over a decade now.
Yeah, it's a consistent one.
Yeah, and honestly, I was kind of the opinion, like the guys that did steroids, they should not get in. And Aaron, with that argument, has convinced me to kind of think along the same line that what you're really doing is just saying that these guys didn't contribute to the game of baseball, which is absolutely insane. How many kids had the Mark McGwire Nerf bat?
Oh my God. Mica,
Bobby, how many times did me and you play with that bat in our yard? We played with that giant big barrel Mark McGwire. I think it was almost like a blue, like see-through big barrel bat. Yeah. And I remember the commercials that were on there. Dude, we loved Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and Ken Griffey Jr. is not doing steroids. He should have been, but
maybe. Dude, I was living in Chicago during the McGwire Sosa thing, and I remember in my school, like when you walked in, like the big their office has like glass windows and stuff for like the main front office, and there was like a tally mark of McGwire versus Sosa, like that you could see in the front.
I think we had that too at Fairfield South, Bobby. I think we had that going on too.
It was like but now I can't share with my children that this moment in time happened.
Well, I'm not buying that.
I hate, dude,
story.
The fact that the baseball writers are responsible for the morality police to me is just such fucking bullshit.
You're just tickling Todd's taint right now. Todd is watching this, just fucking like, that's fucking right, Aaron.
Yeah, me and Todd like to agree on stuff.
Yeah, you just fucking jerk each other off for most of the shows. Yeah, I agree, dude. That these like who came up with the rule that like these old dudes that half of them never even played. What I think of, you remember the silly little game 30 for 30 where they created
one of my favorite 30 for 30
where they created fantasy baseball, just a bunch of baseball nerds.
That's what
That's what I imagine when I think of a baseball writer. Is this just like, well, like that's what I imagine. There's fucking nerds working nerd jobs, doing nerd things, and just like, well, the integrity of the game. Just fuck off, dude.
All these guys are accountants at accounting firms.
Yeah. Eat shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, they weren't. The baseball writers weren't mad cashing their checks when people were actually tuning into baseball to watch these home run races.
And Jaden makes a good point. If they didn't take steroids, the game would be dead right now, is what he's saying. I don't know if I go that far, but I think that there's something to be said about the revitalization in the interest of baseball.
Yeah.
People love the long ball.
It would definitely be a different world that we live in if steroids didn't happen.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. It's Could you, man? Could you imagine if that was just a regular thing that existed now, and steroids were they just let them do it?
Yeah, but at like an early age, it's like Flintstones vitamins.
But no, just like give them to them at give like 6-year-old steroids.
No, I don't think that would be a good thing.
Just kids like breaking the 100-meter yard dash, record at 12.
And still to the Hall of Fame point, though, I have again no problem with you can put them in a separate hall. You can put whatever you want on their plaque that states the fact that they disrupted the integrity of the game. That's completely fine. But to keep them outside of the building is just
I mean, I've never personally been to the Hall of Fame, and I think they should have it like sectioned off by like decades. And they need to have the decade of the the 90s to the 2000s, 2010s, and like and have these guys in there so you can basically just walk through each decade of baseball and just get the whole history. And just like I'm on your guys' side with the baseball writers. I think it's bullshit. I was just making a point. You guys
I get hot about this one. I'm sorry. It's a long-standing opinion of mine.
you guys are ready to fucking pounce like I was like I said Baltimore.
You're just a sexy piece of meat, baby.
The home run is the coolest thing in baseball. And I'm trying to think of a parallel where it's like, hey, the greatest thing about this thing? Well, the best guy at it isn't allowed in the door.
Like sacks. I think sacks are one of the cool. Kick returns. Yes. Like Devin Hester, not allowed in. Can't do it. Sorry.
See, that doesn't track to me, though.
Yeah, kick returns aren't as cool as home runs.
I'm talking about a guy who did it, 768 times?
Okay, so like sacks. Like you say Michael Strahan can't get in.
I think you're thinking too hard about like sports.
I'm looking for a parallel.
Any type of parallel.
Strikeouts. Yeah, strikeouts. I mean, Clemens.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, another steroid guy. What's another thing? You give me one fucking thesaurus over here. Give me a simile. Give me something that's a synonym. I mean,
I'm trying to think of a good example, but it's
me too.
Hard.
Yeah,
but
I'm getting
the closest thing I can think of is just this whole, just in general, and this is completely different, but just like the entire cancel culture part of society where you're just like, well, this guy did a really bad thing and now we can't acknowledge the fact that
he's ever existed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, the art still exists. The whatever still exists. The home runs happened. I watched them with my own eyes.
Like I don't care that Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. I'm still gonna go watch it. I'm gonna have
honestly the worst example I can give, and I might get canceled over this, so please just turn this
I'm right
off.
there with I know who you're gonna say, and I'm right there with you, dude.
I fucking danced hard to Ignition in the club.
Let's go.
Like I danced hard to that.
How many times did we cover that song?
Was that really where you thought I was gonna go with?
Yeah, how many times did we how many times did we cover that song at a party trying to get laid, Aaron?
Yeah. I've
never. If my wife is listening, I never did it. I never did it.
Not once. He was a
Mary. Aaron didn't do it either. Mary.
Dorothy Mantooth is a saint.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, we would get down hard. You know what? Another thing, Aaron. Louis C.K.
Louis C.K. is another good example.
I have never laughed harder at stand up than when I first watched a Louis C.K. special. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I remember he had like. His new album came out. We downloaded it and listened to it in the dorm room.
Yeah.
And that was all we did.
It's kind of like when everybody tried to cancel Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan he's uncancelable.
Yeah, he just actually doesn't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
So.
But I mean, like Corey to that point, but it's like, okay, so did that never happen?
Right.
Yeah, it did. And I have a lot of emotions around that time period of what happened. I can acknowledge the fact that the person that made me feel that way is a piece of shit, a terrible human being and the scum of the earth.
But I'm not.
But I'm cool.
Let's think about this. How many children were conceived thanks to a Barry Bonds home run? Let's think about that, right?
Not as many to Ignition.
Yeah, facts. But nonetheless, lives were created. Lives were created due to Barry Bonds doing steroids. So just think about that next time, baseball writers. Just think about that.
There was a baby bump in Cleveland right after we won the championship.
I think that's like a thing, right? Like the Super Bowl baby bump as well. Like I'm sure there's probably a spike in LA every time they win a Super Bowl, since no one there is actually a Rams fan. They're just fans of other teams. So I think that
it's more baseline though.
Yeah.
You can't really, judge that.
Yeah, we got to look at it like a market, like Cincinnati or something. Yeah, we'll check that out.
We've never seen that in our lifetime.
Yeah, we'll check it out soon, though. We'll check it out. We'll see how that goes. Chad, what else you got for us? We've been rolling here for about an hour and a half. Bobby, Aaron, what else do you guys got? I mean, we're in the dog days, and we're providing content for you guys right now. Football's right around the corner.
You know what right now is the time for is just getting out there and frickin' golfing.
It is. Absolutely.
This is the time to do it. The fairways are rolling. You get a nice downhill. You hit it nice and strong.
Thank you,
Drought. And that thing's going to roll up.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's basically, I got pretty frustrated today. My round got rained out, and
it's bullshit.
I'm still a little bitter about it.
Thanks a lot. Climate change. Fucking asshole. So I'll be hitting the range tomorrow at lunch for sure. Got my league on Friday, and then I'm going to Rutledge, Tennessee next week. Family trip down to Lake House down in Tennessee, and we'll be playing I think it's Wood Lake Golf Club down there in Rutledge. So second time playing in Tennessee. Last time I played at Gatlinburg Golf Club. So getting some exposure down there. So that is going to be fucking dope. Dude, I think we got a couple hours left of Prime Day right now. Any golfers out there? I just got a dozen TaylorMade Distance Plus balls for $19.99, bro. $19.99 for a dozen golf balls. TaylorMades. This isn't.
You could just drop a 20 in the woods.
Thank you, Aaron. Also,
ouch.
Also, Amazon brand like golf short. No free ads, right? This is bullshit. Amazon, you should be a sponsor. You're welcome.
Yeah, Bezos.
Yeah, dickhead. Buy the Reds already. And they have golf shorts available. They're like $12, $13 fucking dollars, dude. I got like 5 pairs of those motherfuckers. They're fantastic acquisition.
Just like go to your local mom and pop shop and strike up a conversation with the owner and buy some shorts. They'll be $5 more, but you won't be paying Jeff Bezos. We're not giving him free pub, Corey. Come on.
Oh my god, dude. Go
thrifting. Dude, support your local thrift store,
dude. Fuck that. There's nothing that beats the convenience of Amazon, and I will sell. I realize I'm doing a deal with the devil. I know that, but there's shit.
I go out of my way to not use Amazon. I use it.
Good for you.
I will go out of my way.
Then fuck you, dude. Don't come out and get your high horse,
dude. Okay, but sometimes you can only get shit online.
I bet if you go and talk to some local business owners, they know a guy for sure. They know a guy.
I'm not.
I got a guy. I got a guy for that. Yeah, Tommy. He sells capos out the back of his fucking trunk over there at the Walmart. You can go get a capo from Tommy.
I'll go to the Guitar Center though. Buy that instead.
Yeah, but like, all right. When you just wait, you pop a couple little ones out. You got a bunch of shit going on. You're trying to run a podcast with your boys. You're working, all this stuff. She's like, oh, God, I really don't want to fucking take the kids in the store. I don't want to get them out of the fucking car seat, drag them to the fucking store. Daddy. They're running around fucking touching every fucking thing in the store. And you finally, in a trip that could have taken you 5 minutes before you procreated, now took you 35 minutes. And you get out of there. And you're like, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Put them back in the car. The fucking 30 seconds that you get walking around the fucking back in the car, it's like pure heroin. There's a Louis C.K. reference for you.
I know that.
And then you just get back in your car and just, okay, we're ready to go. And then you're back. Or while you're taking a shit at work, you can be like, bleep, 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 bleep.
I get it. I understand.
And then it's at your fucking door 2 days later. You could do that too.
Absolutely. You can do that with a bunch of other things too, though.
Like marijuana. You can get marijuana delivered here. Did you know that? You can get delivered to your home like a fucking pizza. Yeah, you should do both. That's a great business idea. You can get both marijuana and pizza delivered. You need Jets Pizza and Loom Cannabis need to go and
have a little collab.
A 420 collab. Get that Eugene Supreme with an eighth of Chem Dog coming up.
You're gonna get the Snoop Dogg meal like they have with every other fucking fast food restaurant.
Dude, I have you had the Snoop Dogg, the 19 Crimes or whatever that fucking wine is? Have you had that?
No. It's
Bobby,
like strong though, isn't it? It's like extra strong wine, is it not?
Dude, it's delicious. It is delicious. I had the Snoop Dogg one. The California Red, of course. California. Yeah, it is so good. So good. Fantastic.
I'm a big fan of wine now.
I love red wine.
I do
there you
too.
go.
Red wine.
Give it a shot. Look at all these free fucking ads I'm giving out tonight.
I also saw there's a Martha Stewart one too for the 19 Crimes.
You think they're fucking? You think they're fucking?
I hope so.
Me too. I think that's.
I would definitely bet that they have.
Yeah.
You think they've? You think they got? Man, that's an interesting dynamic. Well, it's just love, really, is what it is. Love is love.
They had that cooking.
If there's
show
anything the
on,
month
like,
of June has taught me.
They had that cooking show on VH1, and I remember one time I was just like homesick from work. I think I was like 25 or something like that, and I was like legitimately sick. It wasn't just like I don't feel like going in today.
Been there.
No, like I was on the couch, like blanket, orange juice, like all the liquids you can get.
Yeah.
And there was just 8 episodes in a row on VH1, and I just watched all of them.
I love
and
it was one. It was the only watching the most random shit.
Yeah, it was like basically having The Price is Right on if I was 11. But I was like, oh yeah, you can cook bacon like that. Who gives a shit?
Oh my god,
it was better than ibuprofen. It was like it made me feel so much better.
It's like the next Benifer is Snoop and Martha. It'd be Marth Dog. Marth Dog is their couple.
There's just not a lot there's not a lot of better things in the world than Snoop Dogg dropping some like weed pun and Martha going, "Oh, Snoop.
Oh, Snoop. Stop it." And he smacks her ass.
Yeah. You get back in that kitchen, baby.
Roll up a fatty daddy. That's what we're going to do here.
Where has this night gone?
To the best place. To the best place. The best place. This is where the magic happens.
This is great.
I think that's all we got for you guys tonight, though. I think we're running out of steam, but we appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight. It was fun. Another huge shout out to CDD Football Academy. Blaec, thank you so much for coming on. It was awesome. And we are less than 50 days away from college football. Training camp is, 6 weeks away from training camp? Not even. Like 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah,
training camp?
It's coming.
Yeah, training camp's like 2 weeks away, which is when we're going to hear about how amazing, which definitive opinions will come out about someone's playing ability, a la Jamar Chase. So get ready for all of that, and get ready to not believe any of it. And at some point yeah, whatever you choose, at some point we are going to need to make our preseason predictions, and have to go through each division, where we rank each team finishing, what their record is going to be. We can then from which derive playoffs, conference championships, Super Bowl champion.
Need a certain discipline to come down first.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody has. We're all operating under the same thing, Aaron. So I would assume that I think we can guarantee at least 8 games. I think is what we could probably go with. We can operate. Let's operate as that is the barometer from which we are playing right now. 8 games. I think that's fair.
Sure.
You think it's gonna be less?
I don't know. I might be, dude. I just don't know. I wavered. I have gone from every.
You're closer to it than any of us. So you have more beat writers on your Twitter feed and all that stuff than any of us. So
Yeah, I think 6 to 8. 6 to 8.
Okay. We shall see. We shall see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. It was an amazing night. We'll be back tomorrow. Who's coming on tomorrow? Aaron, you're out tomorrow.
I am out tomorrow.
Me, the Bob, and the Todd.
I think Todd's on, yeah.
Todd's back. Coming back from COVID, baby. He's off
go.
that fucking COVID-19 list. He's being reinstated in the lineup. This dude's going to come. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So be sure to tune in tomorrow night, right around 8:30. For Bobby, for Aaron, I'm Corey. This is Rally Top Sports. We fucking love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow night.